Okay, Gary, on the left is my buddy Nick Clearwater. Obviously, on the right, that's you. And I showed you some video of Nick. And if you look at his spine angle drawn against his shaft plane, it's almost a 90-degree angle. I love this setup for you right here. I don't want to change a thing. Got a nice angle on your right arm. That's going to make it easy to fold that left arm. However, remember there are three things. When we talk about, you're going to hear me talk about the term power package, and that's just your shoulders, hands, and arms. There are three things that I want to concern you with. One is the turning of the shoulders. Two is the vertical wrist cock of the left wrist. And three is the internal rotation of the left forearm. So that means if you were holding your thumb straight up and down in front of you, it would turn clockwise internally. External would be counterclockwise. So if you do all three of those at the same time, at the same rate, once you get to position 3, and that's where the left arm's parallel to the ground, you should have pretty much a 90-degree angle. Okay. If we look at Nick's shaft right there, it's not perfectly parallel, but it's pretty close. It's good enough. I'm more concerned with the club face at this point, being square to the plane, but that's fine. All right, now I'm going to dial him back to P2. When we look at P2, and I'm going to change this to a blue color, I want you to really pay attention to the direction of his club face at P2. Now, a lot of pros would look at this and go, oh, that's dead shut. Well, no, essentially what it is, it's square to the target, square to the plane. It's also pretty close to being square to his spine angle. Okay? So let's take a look and see what's going on with yours on the way to P2. Aha. So we talked about this, and we talked about why this happens. If you look at the back of your left wrist, you'll see that it points to the sky. Nick's matches his club face, so I'll guarantee you that his club face, or the back of his left hand, is very close to that club face. Let's undo that one. Okay. So you've got entirely too much forearm rotation. Remember we talked about when you're set up, everything's at 0, and we want them all to meet at 90 degrees when they get to P3. You got to feel like you're keeping your club face dead shut all the way to P2, and then once you get to P2, you can internally rotate that left arm as far as you want. But remember, you have to fix this in your waggle. Okay, I want you to waggle back to a good P2, and a good P2 is going to put your hands and the club face all pretty much in the circle, that blue circle that I just drew right there on Nick's. Okay, your hands are in a good spot, but the club face is way behind you. And the reason that's important is as we roll on, you're going to see that your club is laid off. It's not terrible compared to where we see with Nick's. So what you'll have to do from here is do a lot of lifting to get the club set. And we're going to watch right here. So your shoulders have turned about all they're going to turn. Then you lift the arms up, and what actually happens is you continue on a path that's right over the top. Okay, it's very subtle, but it's just enough to get you on top of the plane. Now, this swing right here, remember I told you, I said I want you to swing to right field. This is not your normal swing path, but this is the one I want you on. Watch the direction this golf ball takes. Pretty close to that blue arrow right there. Okay, because you swung on a really good path. I'm going to send you, we're going to do another voiceover here in a minute with your regular swing. Remember when you first walked up, I said, I want you to forget everything I've told you, and I want you to hit it the way Gary Francis hits it on March the 19th, 2011. So we'll have a baseline, we'll have a benchmark, okay? All right. So over here on the left, let's look at Nick. I mean, he doesn't get super deep into his swing. I mean, that's about it. I think he's hitting a 6-iron here, and he probably hits at least $1.75. And if you notice, the blue lines that I just drew, let's change colors. Let's go to yellow. The yellow lines that I just drew, that's him holding that flying wedge. And then that shaft comes out almost parallel to his shoulders. So you got a whole lot of lifting going on. You do a good job. Got a pretty good exit plane right here. That's the yellow lines. They're pretty much parallel to your shoulders. I'm going to take all these lines away and point out one more thing. I want you to look at Nick's right leg. And how straight it is. And I want you to look at your right leg and see how it's collapsed. Okay. Now, if we were in front, we would see that your upper body is out over your toes. If we were to look at Nick from the front, we would see that his spine is in line. His hips are under his torso. His legs are under his hips. And he's pushing those hips forward, 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 and extending that spine. And that's how you get power. And it's also a lot easier on your back, too. All right, now I told you I'd talk about the chicken wing. Look at your left arm. Right now. See how it pops out behind you? All right. So you and Nick are essentially at the same spot, but you don't see his left arm. That's because his arms are extended. Yours have collapsed. Okay, you'll see it eventually. Okay, but look at his, heck, you can look at his right wrist, and it's still got just a little bit left, a little bit of bend left. Yours is dead flat. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'd sure like to see those arms straight. So there's your finish compared to Nick's. I'd like to see your spine a lot more extended and those arms straight and extended.